I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse, like proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest and storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages, envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's number one, Chief Rocker in the building. Uncle Freezy is in the building. Welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Morning Time show, the Knicks Morning Drive. Man, I have a treat for y'all. Man, I have my homeboy and sidekick, you know what I'm saying? Batman and Robin, you know what I'm saying? Coach Malpica's in the building. Jay Chosen is in the building, and somebody that I respect so much that I almost like just try to somebody I really respect is going to be rocking with us for a few minutes today. It's John Macri from Knicks Film School.
Oh,
hey,
what's going on?
Is this an Italian takeover? Wait a minute.
That's it.
Italian takeover.
We got the paisans in the house. Hide the cannolis.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, man. How you been, bro?
I feel like I know you already. I watch you all the time.
Yeah, man, thank you. Yeah, no, I feel like I came on the show like a few times back in the day, but been a little bit too busy over the last few years, which is my fault.
Well, yeah, we're
it happens to everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Jay, what's good, bro?
Doing well, man. Life is
speechless,
good.
bro. What the hell?
No. You know what? I'm blessed to be like I sit still for a minute. I don't want to just shoot out anything. I'm blessed, man. I woke up today, man. My kids are good. I'm rocking out with some really good people who have really great platforms, and man, things are great. Things are great.
Well,
yeah, man.
Hey, well, cool. Hey,
it's good to be a Knicks fan nowadays.
It's great to be a Knicks fan.
It's been a long time since we could say that.
Yeah, John. So I have a bunch of questions, man. Knicks related questions, right? And so we operate in our own universe here, Orange Tears universe, right? We watch other shows we watch y'all and others, but I'm in this space where I feel like the Knicks are set in such a great place, but then also in a place where the rumor mill creates this environment where we may have issues, but those issues may be overblown, and we constantly get caught up in the national rumor mill with trade scenarios like the Giannis trade scenario. Things of that sort. Just wanted to pick your brain on this. Just ask you this. Have you heard anything Knicks related about, say, a major trade, something like that? Is the Giannis rumor stuff real? And do you feel like it's necessary to even go down the Giannis road?
Well, I mean, so it's a good question and it's a good two-part question, because you say issues that the Knicks may, everything's relative, right? So,
Right.
like, for instance, there's a report earlier today that I caught that from Jake Fisher, who does great work with Mark Stein, where it's like people around the league look at LaMelo Ball as kind of like a joke and the most unserious player. Like that's an issue that the Charlotte Hornets have. Like the Knicks have issues, but their issues are like Mitchell Robinson maybe isn't 100% healthy and can't hit a free throw, and like they are gonna have trouble like scoring efficiently against like the best 3 or 5 defenses in the league.
Right.
These are first world problems.
Right.
There are 10 or 15 or 20 other teams in the league that would love to have first world problems.
Mhm.
But the Knicks entered the season as like whatever it was, tied with the Cavs for like the second best title odds.
Right.
So like, yeah, the Knicks have like issues, but most years 30 teams have issues. This year is an exception in that there is one team out there that seems to have no issues whatsoever.
Right.
And we'll see, maybe we run into them next week. But like on the Giannis stuff, I mean, it's definitely obviously it's true that they had conversations over the summer. My own personal theory is that I don't think Leon Rose ever believed that the Bucks were prepared to trade Giannis over the summer.
Right.
Which is why, like, I think, the Knicks approach at that time was kind of like they probably approached that with caution. As far as like the current situation, I think Giannis. Let me say this: I think, and this is based on some stuff that I heard over the summer, not from like any Knicks reporters or anything, but just from different people who I were like pinging me, irrespective of each other.
Right.
It seems like Giannis's people very much wanted him to be a Knick. I don't think there's any dispute about that.
Right.
But like, what does that matter? Like, that's great.
Right.
But it doesn't matter if the Bucks don't want to trade him, and it doesn't matter if the Knicks aren't willing to kind of move heaven and earth to go get him. But
right.
I don't know. End of the day, I think it's Leon Rose and the front office and everybody, who the decision making people at New York. I'm sure they believe in the current team to an extent, and they think that the current team is capable of great things. But I also don't think they're going to stick their head in the sand and be like, we don't, under no circumstances could we use a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, we are so 100% great here. Like, that would be silly. That would be silly. That would be silly for any team in the league. That'd be silly for OKC.
Right.
Like he's a top 3 player, and he's it's not like he's 40 years old or anything. Like, so I don't know. I think I'm as fascinated as you guys to see how the next few months play out from a standpoint of like, all right, how, if it's clear that the Bucks are going to trade him now before the deadline, which I don't necessarily believe because it's just really hard to pull that stuff off in season. and it's like the Knicks are in a position where it's like, all right, we either make a play for this guy now and do everything we would need to do to try to get in that derby, which I don't even know if, frankly, if they could, or we let those chips fall where they may. And if it means we don't get Giannis Antetokounmpo, it means we don't get Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know.
Right. One of the things about the Giannis propaganda, I guess, is it goes against everything we know historically about moving superstars. Like, it's rare that a megastar like Giannis is moved in season. Right. Now, it's happened in the past. It's happened in the past here recently because of the CBA and such being kind of odd to deal with, and money matching, and it's very, very hard to move that sort of money in season just because of the CBA. You're absolutely right.
Right. Because like it's either going to be what's best for him or what's best for us. Because sometimes it's not both things that happen.
That's part of it, but also just from a practical perspective, if you're the Knicks and you literally can't make a trade in which you take back more salary than you send out, then it's like automatic. Okay, then we need to get a third team involved. And you could get third teams involved very easily in the offseason because teams have 20 roster spots. So like a year ago with the Cat thing, you needed to do these, and that's the other thing you do. You do sign-in trades in the offseason. It's so much more complicated now, but we don't have to bore your listeners with that stuff.
Right. And one of the other things too, just to add, historically and traditionally, playoff teams or teams that are perennial playoff teams don't trade major stars to each other during the season because of the fact that you will face said star that knows you possibly in the playoffs,
especially in the same conference,
right? And especially in the same conference, these things generally don't happen. But the thing about this is the story seems to have Kenyan runner legs. Like, this thing won't go away. This thing goes on forever.
But I think you just said the answer why. The Bucks may have been a perennial playoff team for years and years and years.
Right.
They are 10-15 right now.
Right.
And Giannis is going to miss somewhere between the next week to 3 weeks conservatively.
Right.
If they trade him, it is because not only are they out, like, are they not a contending team, but the Bucks ownership, GM, coaching staff, whatever, the thing will have become so far gone that they will no longer be able to credibly look Giannis and be like, "Don't worry, we'll be able to make a run come playoff time." Because the way this thing is going, again, I don't want to go through like the Bucks schedule. Like, people don't really care about that, but they've lost 2 games in a row. Like, they're going to need to get some wins here pretty soon to avoid falling too far back of the playoff race. And if Giannis comes back and they are, 12 and I don't know, 20 or something, or 12 and 22, they can't look at him and be like, "No, don't worry, man, we'll be fine." And if he's like, "All right, I'm out," then they can't do anything about that. They're
right.
What are they gonna do?
So what do you do if you're the Knicks? And I'm asking this question because my mindset is, you basically hit a groove where I think you're 15-4 in the last 19 games. One of the things that wrecks the chances of championship contenders is not talent on the roster, but the peripheral and adjacent things that go along with having an NBA team. If this continues, do you see a world where this may disrupt chemistry with the Knicks, especially the closer we get to the trade deadline?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're kind of a unique team. Like the leadership of the team, that, as I see it, I mean, there's Brunson and Hart. Those are your top 2 locker room guys. Brunson obviously knows he's gonna be a Knick until Leon Rose is no longer president, and then probably even after that.
Right.
And Josh Hart, for whatever reasons you want to say, he ain't going anywhere either. So he don't got to worry about anything. Mikal Bridges just signed an extension. Now, he's obviously trade eligible. I think it's like 2 or 3 days before the deadline.
Right.
I think Mikal Bridges feels pretty secure that he is not going to be going out in any trades either. And by the way, he just got the largest contract of his life that doubled his career earnings. So I think he's probably in a good place. Speaking of money, OG Anunoby is not, it's what are we, a year removed from him signing for 5 years and 200 and whatever. It's the largest contract that the franchise has ever handed out.
Right.
He's making $40 million a year. And OG is also the type of guy that I don't worry about OG. Look, OG wants his shots. I think that's been reported over the years. I think it's part of the reason why he wanted out of Toronto. I think it's part of the reason why there were times where this team did not perform up to expectations last year when they had all of their guys together.
Right.
And I think part of it was I don't think it's a coincidence that you saw OG Anunoby play his best basketball of the year when Jalen Brunson was out, and he got to, and OG got to take, who got to take the most additional shots during that month? It was OG Anunoby. And you look this year, OG's firing away from 3. I think he's getting all the looks that he could possibly want. I don't think he's fazed by trade stuff. I just think OG's I want to be the best version of myself that I could be. And as long as that's the case, I'm good.
Right.
The guy that you wonder about is Cat, because he's the big salary that would be going out. He's the guy that has had the most difficult adjustment to the Mike Brown offense because of everything he has been asked to do. I'm not saying this I'm not making this up because this has been reported. Cat likes playing the 5. He likes playing the 5 in this offense.
Right.
So, I think you look at everything that's been going on with their team. I think all of this is tied together. Mike Brown got in front of the microphone and said, it was about 10 days ago or a week ago, whatever it was. Hey, my staff came to me and said, I think Josh Hart should be a starter. Okay. Does part of that have to do with the fact that Mitchell Robinson is dealing with health issues and is not himself and maybe is on a minutes limit and all this stuff? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But what else happens if Josh Hart's a starter? Mitchell Robinson goes back to the bench. Karl Anthony Towns goes back to playing the full-time 5. All of this stuff ties together. Cat, we've seen him get going a little bit here. I think the shooting is still, it's not really where it wants to be yet, but we're seeing better signs from Cat recently. So he's the guy that I have my eye on, that if the rumor mill really does still start to pick up, it's not, there's no mystery. Cat's going to be going out. Now, is there going to be other stuff that has to go out too to make to practically make the trade work? Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. Because look, if they end up figuring out a way to keep the rest of their team in place and send out Cat and bring in Giannis, I don't think they're going to be able to do that, to be extraordinarily clear.
Right.
But that makes them a better basketball team, probably, almost certainly.
Right.
And then and Cat's gonna cat. And if he's here past his deadline, then he's here past the deadline, and then he got nothing to worry about. So it's fine. So
he's definitely not worried about if the check's going to clear on payday. Like, that's the main thing. There is no issue with that.
Cat don't got to worry about any checks. That being said, he became extension eligible this past summer.
Right.
There has been no reporting that the two sides had any conversations whatsoever.
Right.
The rubber's going to meet the road this upcoming summer, because then we're going to be a year away from Cat having a player option. So essentially we're going to be a year away from him being able to be a free agent. Right. And I personally am very interested, if Cat is on the team this summer, how those negotiations may go. Now, obviously, if they win a championship, then they're just going to give him money and it's going to be fine. But
the conversation will be different.
Yeah. Different combo.
Yeah. One of the things, though, I as Knicks fans, one of the things we forget is Giannis Antetokounmpo may be a top 25 player in NBA history, right? Possibly, depending on your view of the guys that played before him, right? He's an MVP. He won a championship in a very small market, right? He's dominant in his era every year. He's an MVP candidate, right? Now, when a guy has that type of resume and he is still in that window of his prime, we don't know how long he'll be there, because, Steph Curry type guys, their window may be longer. The bigs there, you don't know how long a big is going to last. Kind of like a running back. They are great one year, and then the next year they may be boogie. We don't know. Yeah. Right. But what we do know is the asking price for a top 25 player in their prime is going to be steep. And what my consternation, or the thing that pauses me, is Leon Rose willing to part with the assets that will get him a top 25 player of all time? And the reason why I ask, because Cat, based on his numbers, is a Hall of Famer. Centers don't put up these 20 and 12 type numbers that Cat does, and 2 to 3 at the same time.
He will be, if he stays healthy for another 4 years,
right.
There will be no Hall of Fame conversation, because he will have 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and he's going to have whatever. Even if he doesn't make another All-Star team, an All-NBA team, which I think he'll probably make at least another All-Star team, maybe a couple. The counting stats alone, and the totals are going to put him in the Hall of Fame. So you're not wrong there.
Right. Yeah. Right. But the key, though, what I'm thinking is, how do you trade for a top 25 player in NBA history without paying the top 25 player in NBA history price?
Well, it's not about paying the price. We're not going to relitigate the Bridges trade, because I'm happy Bridges is here and Bridges is playing awesome. and they had their reasons for doing that trade when they did it. And I don't think it's useful for us to second guess it. That said, if they had all of the picks that they sent to Brooklyn in the Bridges trade, and it came down to sending Cat to Milwaukee along with every single one of those picks, and you could throw in Deuce McBride too. That's not a conversation. They would have done that trade over the summer. They would do that trade tomorrow. They would do that trade the next day, and they would every day after that until the trade deadline. With the caveat that you kind of do need to pair Giannis with a floor spacing 5, so there would be some. I think there'll be some interesting negotiations both from a value perspective and just like an outgoing and incoming salary perspective. Could they get and should they get Miles Turner along with Giannis? And then so what do you have to trade? What do you have to move to make that money work? And that gets a little bit more complicated. But from you're asking from like a perspective of like, would Leon give up what a player of the caliber would commands in a trade? That's not the question. The question is now with those picks being sent out the door, you're left with like, all right, well, now we don't have the picks to trade other than a couple of distant swaps, which have some value. I don't want to poo-poo that. But now we have to go and let's say trade OG Anunoby. And either, I don't know if Milwaukee wants to try to stay competitive, so you're sending OG and Cat to Milwaukee, or if you're sending OG to some third team who then is going to flip some picks and or a young player and reroute it to the Bucks. Then it's a question of like, is the team that we're bringing Giannis Antetokounmpo to still going to be able to compete for a championship, especially because why are you getting him? You're getting him to try to do the thing that in theory you can't do right now. Probably OKC, but maybe Denver, maybe Houston. So if you're mortgaging so much and you're sending out so much that the team you're bringing him to is no longer you don't feel like it could beat those best teams out west, or maybe even come out of the East, then what are we doing here? Then it's a different conversation. And this is for me personally probably the most interesting aspect to this. If whatever and again, to be very clear, I'm not sure that even their best offer, even if they find a team who's willing to send Milwaukee multiple unprotected draft assets for OG Anunoby in a 3-team deal, I still don't know if the Knicks are going to have the best offer. They probably won't, depending on if some of these teams out west decide that they want to get in the Derby. Right. If the Knicks look at it and be like, all right, we're going to cripple ourselves to the point where we will almost certainly not be able to win anything this year.
Right.
But maybe we can fill in enough gaps this summer and before the trade deadline next year, and maybe the summer after that. And you're looking at it as like, we're giving ourselves a 3-4 year window here, but we feel better about that 3-4 year window than the 3-4 year window we might have now. That's an interesting conversation to me. That's an interesting conversation to me. And I don't frankly know what they do, especially since, again, Leon Rose can credibly look himself in the mirror right now and say, I've assembled a team that should come out of the East. And if you make the finals, like I don't know, a curse on the show, but like who the fuck knows what could happen in the final? Maybe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander turns an ankle. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe Nikola Jokic gets the flu. I don't know.
No. And honestly, the only reason why we're even in discussion for him is because he's the one that mentioned us.
Yes.
It's not like because we have the most to give or,
No, yeah.
We need him that bad.
But
when someone of that magnitude shows an interest, you have to perk up and listen.
So there's this gray area between we need him that bad and we're totally fine with our team right now, and we don't even want to think about it at all because the Knicks are not the Thunder. Like the Thunder are the one team in the league that can be like, it literally doesn't matter who becomes available right now, other than like Wemby or Jokic or something. Right. We're gonna stay where we are. But the Knicks are also not like desperate. Like if we don't get Giannis, then we have a 0% chance of winning a title. They're in that in between where it's like he could very well make their team better based on a series of circumstances. The thing that's most interesting to me personally is you look at some of the teams out there that would be able to construct a theoretical best package for him. Teams like, and the two teams I'm looking at are the Rockets and the Spurs. And both of those teams, for different reasons, might just look at themselves and be like, you know what? Not saying he wouldn't make us better, but for a variety of reasons, we are going to stand pat right now. Right. And then if it's like, all right, if the teams that have the best theoretical package take themselves out of the derby and you're just competing with, you know, let's say in Atlanta and then I said this on my show last night and I'll say it again now. The team that scares me the most is Miami, because Miami cannot look at themselves right now and be like, we're fine without Giannis. We're good. We're just going to roll what we have because they need him. And they also have, I think, a real, depending on what the Bucks probably think about Tyler Hero, they like the Heat could really put a real package together. They have picks, they have this Ware kid who's really, really good, and they have Hero as outgoing salary. Hero, by the way, from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. So like, and of course, you're seeing all these reports the last few days. Miami Heat, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, if he can't get to the Knicks, does he want to go to Miami? Like, who the hell wouldn't want to go? You know, live.
Bro, have y'all ever been to Miami? First of all, have you ever been to Miami? Like, it's not like we're not talking about Minneapolis, right?
Oh,
right? Like, we're not talking about Minneapolis, Minnesota. Miami.
It's a completely different M.
And you know who's stirring that up, Mister the slick haired one himself.
As he should,
you know, because he knows what he's doing.
If the you know, and then you got this whole freaking Terry Rozier. Is his contract? Can you trade? Are you allowed to trade him right now while he's in freaking lockdown or whatever? But if you're telling me that the Knicks, like today, the Knicks have to go through who to make the finals? The Pistons. Okay, that's going to be hard. I'm not trying to. Like, they're good. They're really good, and they're going to be a pain in the ass to play and the whole thing. But like, I think the Knicks could beat the Pistons.
Right.
Cavs, who the hell knows what's going on with them? You know, you look up and down. If Tatum comes back for Boston, they're going to be tricky. But like, there's no one who I'm looking at right now and be like, nah, the Knicks can't beat them. If you tell me the freaking Heat get Giannis and pair him with Bam, and they still have Norm Powell, and they still have the best coach in the sport, and they have some decent depth, I don't like that. I don't love that notion. I'm not saying the Knicks couldn't beat that team. They could, but that's scary, you know? So all of this stuff, you can't look at any of this in a vacuum. Like, everything is related. Everything is intertwined. And so if you're a Knicks fan, be like, fuck Giannis. We don't need him. He could go, you know, do whatever he's going to do. We don't care. We got the squad. Right. That's nice to say. It's just not a reality. Because, like, again, where is he going to go? Like, what is the trade going to look like that would bring him back here? It's all connected.
Right. The last thing you just said stopped my heart for like 2 seconds.
What's that?
Miami. just Miami, period. Like, you know, I love the place. I love South Beach, but I absolutely despise the team.
You should.
Right, of course.
I don't think that's enough.
Right now in my head.
To beat us still.
You know, the fact of the matter is that if I'm hearing you right, that let's say Miami, that's just fodder. That's Pat Riley doing whatever.
Sure.
Then in essence, I think you were also trying to, before that, you mentioned Atlanta, but then you paused. And I was wondering if you were thinking at that point, it would just be if the other big guys took themselves out of it, thinking, you know what, we really don't need to spend this type of money. Then it would just be us betting against us for him.
Look, first of all, the Bucks have to get to the point where they're going to trade him, right? Because if the Bucks if he doesn't push them, I just don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think the Bucks will arrive at that decision without him going to them and saying, "Listen, I'm done. You got to move me." Right. The reason I paused with Atlanta is Atlanta, I think, arguably has the best single asset that would realistically, who knows, maybe because they have this Pelicans pick that right now is slated to have the best lottery odds, to finish first and then no lower than fifth. which would be a great thing you have if you're a Bucks team that wants to rebuild. But if Giannis lets it be known that he ain't re-signing in Atlanta a year and a half from now when he could become a free agent, well, then if you're Atlanta, do you give up that pick? I don't know. So that's why I paused with Atlanta. With Miami, I have very, very little doubt that if Miami traded for Giannis is going to be a member of the Heat for a hot minute. He'll
retire as a Heat. Yeah, he'll retire as a Heat.
Yeah.
Oh man, all he needs to do is walk on South Beach. He'll never lose.
Yeah, I know.
I'm more concerned with teams that have elite guard play. Like those are the teams that worry me more against the Knicks. Like
that's fair.
So because I feel like with McHale and OG and Mitch, most of the guys that fit that mold to defend, we have that covered. So like when Miami loses a Tyler Hero, their guard tier really drops. And we defend, I mean, it's still Bam and Giannis. It's not like we're going to lock them down or anything. Right. But we're more equipped to defend them than if Tyler Hero goes off, And I know we have McHale to defend him and all that. But
go ahead, John, my bad.
No, I was going to say, I think the toughest teams for they could put their offensive engine is a bigger guy, because then they could just throw a bunch of size on the floor and then there's no place to hide Jalen Brunson. You saw that against the Celtics last week. Right. You saw that at times against the Pistons in the playoffs last year, and I think the Pistons are better equipped even now. And the Pistons are another scary team. They could make a trade. I'm not saying they're going to make a trade for Giannis, but they could make a trade for a piece that really makes them that much more difficult to defend. So, like, look, but again, to bring it all the way back around, if it was just Jalen Brunson, right, and you had 4 solid defenders around him, you feel a little bit better about your ability to guard any of these big time offenses. But if it's Brunson and Cat, against the best offenses, it just makes it that much more challenging. Although I will give Towns a shout out. His defense in the freaking awesome. That was as good as he has defended this year. Right. And you could argue that was as good as he has defended as a Knick. Truly.
Yeah. And one of the things too, just about that point, Karl Anthony Towns' defense played Jacob Poeltl off the floor. They went with CMB for a long stretch after Cat neutralized Jacob Poeltl, who is not a pushover, by the way. This guy, Jacob Poeltl, is a serviceable big man in this league, and he's going to be that for a long time. But the fact that Cat neutralized him and basically played him off the floor is something that we should be cognizant of. So.
I mean, look, teams are always going to put Cat in actions. Teams are always going to put Brunson in action. So it's not just about how well Cat defends his man. It's about what happens when he is being asked to do other stuff on the perimeter. And I thought he was just really locked in. I thought he moved his feet well. Thought he did a good job of, like, I know he had a couple of silly fouls in the game, but on defense, I thought he was fouling. So if I knew for sure that was the version of Cat that I was going to get on defense every game, or like not every game, but like, even like 3 out of 5 games, right? I would probably be a little bit more confident than, I would be more confident than I am. But the reason why I still have my doubts about their ability to, like, scale the mountaintop, go all the way, win the whole freaking thing, is in part because of the defensive inconsistency there. But look, they have another 50-something games to try to continue to work out those kinks. Overall, I think he's defended well this year, and they have a trade deadline, which, and put aside the Giannis thing, I mentioned that only because they could potentially help their team. There's other moves that they could make. Right. So I think they need to address maybe their depth a little bit. They would have to get creative to do that. So we'll see. But anyway, I got to run because I got my own show to prepare for in a bit. But this was fun, guys.
I know. Listen, as soon as you said I got to run, I already know that you have to save the world. Right?
No,
I know you have a ton of stuff to do.
I'm doing Knicks. So I got this new thing I've been doing with my girl Rebecca Chase, and we do this thing called the Knicks Twitter show where we literally just put up tweets and talk about them. Try to, tap into what people are talking about and thinking about these days. So it's always something over at Knicks Film School. But thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No,
Yeah, man.
I got a quick one to ask you. Really?
Yeah,
quick,
sure.
Man, it's probably like 30 seconds.
You go for it.
What's it like watching Knicks Film School from 8 years ago? Watching where you were 8 years ago, 7 years ago?
The Twitter account is probably like 10 years old, but let's see. I came aboard with the pod. I mean, I started the podcast, I think, at the beginning of the 2018-19 season?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Something like
So, I mean, what is that? I guess it's coming up on 8 years, 7.5 years, whatever it is.
Yeah. So what's it like watching it go from that to where you are now, where you have nationally respected guests that a Knicks fan can look forward to being on your show, especially when that day or that week the Knicks play that team and you can get that guest to show up on your show?
Credit to Andrew. Andrew gets all the guests for the pregame pods, and he's incredible with that, and he does a great job with that show.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it will never not be a trip to me that Knicks Film School is what it is, but I haven't. I mean, what did you say? Was it 7-8 years? I haven't slept in 7 or 8 years, but that's my choice, because I always my goal in life was always to get to a place where I could do something professionally that I love and that I'm proud of. And I always said to myself, even from a young age, I was like, if I ever get that opportunity, I'm never going to let it pass me by. I'm never going to let it slip through. I'm going to do everything humanly possible. The only thing that's tougher now is with two, and I've had 2 kids now for 4.5 years. I had my first daughter, 9 years ago. The
baby is 4.5.
Yeah, man.
Golly, bro.
You're telling me. So,
fast, brother.
Dude, it flies, and just having, wanting to kind of, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but grappling with the desires that I've always had to be a successful professionally versus what I know when I'm lying on my deathbed, God willing, many years from now. The only thing that will matter to me at that point, which is what kind of a father was I, to kind of I think about this shit on a daily basis. I'm crazy like that, where I'm am I making the right decision in this moment when I'm telling my daughter to go play by herself for a few minutes because I got to finish this thing. That's real, man. And I don't pretend to have the right answers, but for me, when you talk about the growth of Knicks Film School, that's the part of it that resonates with me the most, and just continuing to try to find the right balance to be able to do everything that I want to do. And there's just, only so many hours in the day. It is what it is. It's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining.
Well, we appreciate your passion and your knowledge. It's very respected. Sure.
And thank you. Hey, Mac, thank you for sharing that, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just hearing you just mention that part is super interesting to me. I'm gonna say, listen, man, thank you to Knicks Film School for being kind of helping lead the way in this Knicks universe. Bringing truth to power in these Knicks conversations. Right. Thank you, man, and thank you for, and y'all don't know, chat, y'all don't know, but I reach out to Mac occasionally, like he's kind of like a pseudo mentor or kind of like a mentor to me. I hit him behind the scenes, right? But listen, I know he's pushed for time all the time. I just want to express how gracious and knowledgeable and all that stuff he's been over the years. I want to say this out loud, not our conversations, because our conversations are private. But I just want to let y'all know what type of person this dude is. Mac, thank you for coming, bro.
Nah, man, thank you. Really, I don't take it for granted that I don't take any of this for granted. I promise you So thank you. We'll do this again before the end of the season. Seriously, man. Hit me up. Hopefully when we're, I don't know, steamrolling through the Eastern Conference and have the number 1 seed locked up in like March or something. That would be great.
Yeah, when we're 60-7, I'll hit you up.
Yeah, right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, man.
all right.
Yeah.
Everybody, enjoy your Thursday. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to y'all soon, okay?
Yeah,
All right,
Brother,
brother.
happy holidays. Be well.
All right, boss. Yeah, y'all. Hey, man, that was John Macri, Knicks Film School. Man, have a ton of conversations with him over the months and years, man. He's been super helpful with, with me building this place here too. So yeah, man, love and appreciate that guy. Mac, if you're still listening, you still owe me a drink. So, bro, hey, coach, Jay Chosen, what's good, man? And
What's up, man?
And all Italian panel, bro. What's happening? Y'all didn't tell me.
Yeah, come on.
I always I gotta try to keep my hands on the desk because it's not good. It's not good content creation when you talk with your hands a lot. It's too much distraction.
Right.
If you know,
So-
my arms are always out of the screen. Like they're out of the screen. I just can't help
That's why I try to sit on them, put them in my pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought what he said at the end was, I'm going to say this really quick, get this out the way. This is great. It's always great. I mean, I was really blessed to be a part of that. That was amazing stuff. Good information.
Yeah.
Thank you. But what he said at the end was really like hit me the hardest, like what he wanted to be known for, and what he wanted to do and how much preparation compared to how much being a father and all that. To me, that is something I grapple with on a daily basis. So to hear a man who has worked on his craft very hard to be where he is, to think about something like that on a daily basis, it's encouraging, and people,
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody else caught on that, but that's really
Yeah.
encouraging to hear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good stuff.
it's something that we all have to. We have to balance like what our passion is, and then our time with our loved ones and family. It's a tough balance, especially when it's this is something we do on our free time.
Right.
Instead of going out to the club or go and have drinks with the boys or play cards or do whatever. That's our thing. This is our
Be right back, y'all.
hobby,
So
and
we're
it's
between the next week to
and it's everyone's dream
conservatively
to
if they
be.
trade him,
Sounds like I hear someone's video in the background, but it's everyone's dream that their hobby becomes, or their passion becomes, a source of, if you can do it for a career, that's everyone's dream. Just like being a musician, like for you, Chosen,
Yep.
and doing this stuff. Like I would love to be a content creator and not have to, even though I'm passionate about doing patient care for my patients, as a medical professional. I've been doing it a long time, man. I wouldn't mind to kick back and talk about my passions about the Knicks and just, I don't need to make a lot, just enough to pay a couple bills and just do what I love. But I don't even need a dime because this is what I love to do. And
You know what they say, right? They say if you do what you love, you never really work.
right, exactly.
So, before I listen, the habit what Freezy said before he left, like to go out with the boys or play cards and stuff. I can't, being in the music business myself, I do that. So my passion is to get home
Yeah.
and to be on the couch and relax and be with the kids, because that's really what it is. And then if I raised mine to love the Knicks and love the Mets and love sports and love people, and so I get to do it with them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
watch
for
watch
sure.
them grow. You know,
Yeah.
man, I think it's fantastic to hear that from people who are. Cause I can tell you, man, there's a lot of grappling with that when you're like out on the road. I did one time, um, maybe I can't remember, 26 days, and somewhere in between there, like around the 10th day, I called their mom. I was like, "Can you please fly out here?" Because I just couldn't do it without them.
Right.
And she did. That was years ago, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. And that's what's great about like my two sons. They're both young men now. My oldest played college football. He's in his last year right now. And my youngest is moving to New York after the holiday to chase his dream to be an actor. So like, and they both know I do this, and sometimes Discord with them, and we do some gaming and stuff together, And like, hey boys, I'm about to go do my Knicks show. It's like, oh man, that's awesome. Have a good time. We'll see you. And sometimes they'll chime in. They'll watch it back, and they'll send me a message, like make fun of me, like like why are you wearing those glasses or or whatever. That's my hump. The old man's hump. And I'm blessed enough that my girl, she's super supportive about it.
Right.
When she hears me like yelling at the TV during the Knicks games, and the first day or two, I might just let honey, I'm pretty passionate about my teams, and she's totally supportive, and can't ask for anything better than that.
I appreciate. I didn't even shout out the chat, bro.
Yeah, man. And shout out to Tori. You're here now too, by the way.
Yeah, shout out
girl?
to Tori. Mets, I see you, man. Wayne Peterson is in the building. Knicks Nation. Joe White is in the building.
Wiz.
Jay is in the building. Salute, man.
Lord of mercy. Danny Landis.
That's what I saw. Did I see? Yo. Is in the building. Salute Randall is in the building. Docosaurus was happening. Yo, I see y'all, man. We see y'all, man. Yo. Yeah. Yo, yeah, I see y'all, man. What's good? What's good, man? I see, man. There's a bunch of people in the chat, man. Thank y'all for coming through.
Yeah.
Right, DJ Cash.
Hit that like button.
Yo, where is it? I saw D Lando. Was it D?
Oh, that's sicko, isn't it?
I know. I got you.
No, so I don't, because the names are showed up as their
as their tags.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, man. Of course. Now I was gonna shout him out, man. He always shout me out on Twitter. Knicks Nation, thank you for the generous contribution. Knicks Nation says, thank you, Freezy, for being you and true to your content, providing a great panel and bringing amazing guests. Your sacrifice is real, man. Thank y'all, man. It's y'all the reason why we do it. One of the things Macri said, and not shit changing the subject, because which I was talking about is real, like the sacrifice and all that stuff is real, man. But one of the things Macri was mentioned, I don't know if it got caught up in the wash, but one of the things he said was he mentioned the people around him that helped grow Knicks Film School. He mentioned Andrew Claudio being a producer and getting guests for the show so that he can just interview and do his thing. That's a real thing, man. Like, it really takes a team of individuals doing individual jobs. Like, those guys are not trying to do what Macri does. They're doing other jobs to help Knicks Film School be great. Like, they have people doing the thumbnails. They have people doing recruiting the guests. They have people writing articles. They have people producing, making sure that what looks right on the screen is great. And then they have one or two people like on the panel that, rock the mic on the panel. And then occasionally You know, they'll put everybody on the panel at the same time, and they do a great and awesome job over there at Knicks Film School, man. So shout out to them. So
Yeah. Takes
yeah,
a
man.
village, right?
Yeah, man. It takes a village, maybe 2 villages.
Yeah, maybe a little city of villages,
Yeah,
right? You know?
right.
East Village.
Yeah. Hey, how about we call it Beast Village?
Yeah,
We
the
call it
Beast Village.
Yeah.
No,
Corey,
no,
what's
no.
good? You might be quiet.
I'm just taking it all in this morning. I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, hey,
I'm okay.
I was just about to ask you about Spike.
He all right. He up and moving around a little bit, so he looked like he a little better.
Good. Yo, one of the things Max said, which to me is like one of those things, he mentioned the Giannis thing in depth. I still, even though I get advice from, so y'all know content creators, right? Like I reach out to the people in Milwaukee, like, hey man, I'm Uncle Freezy. You know, I got a channel, Lawrence Tears. You know, I hear Giannis, the rumors and all that stuff. You know, because you gotta, let people know who you are. You know, your credential and whatever. And people like what I hear from the people in Milwaukee is split. It's like, well, he got us our chip. Or if he don't want to be here, trade him. Or, man, I really don't want to see Giannis go. He's homegrown. And so when you speak to like the content creators of, and that's one of the things that I would advise Knicks fans is don't live in this space in a vacuum, right? Right. Don't live in a vacuum with this thing, man. Check out, even if you don't have time, that's cool. For me, I have to do it because I have to have smart takes when I hit the button to go live. And so what I do is I have like a list of content creators that I talk to, man. So it's like Eat Sleep Sixers in Philly. I have the Mavs guys, the Spurs guys, the Clippers gangsters, them. So there are a lot of people that I reach out to get
Tony from the Heat.
From the We Talk Hawks. And so the thing I get most from the Milwaukee side of it is it's mixed because they love Giannis. They remember drafting a guy and not being able to pronounce his name. You remember that on draft night when they said with the 15th pick, Nobody knew how to pronounce his name. And they had the grainy video? They didn't even have real footage of him. It was like the Bigfoot footage of Giannis.
Who's Tangus Pangus?
Yeah, they went from that. Yeah, bro, they went from that day to the day where a top 25 player of all time is looking to move on. And so from their perspective, they have a bunch of mixed feelings, right? And as Knicks fans, we don't have that sense because we haven't had that type of player. We hadn't had that feeling in 40 years where you draft a guy, he's a homegrown guy, and he goes on to become a top 25 player of all time, right? Like after we drafted Pat Ewing, we drafted a bunch of good players, but no one gives you that Pat Ewing, Giannis Antetokounmpo vibe, right? So if you're in Milwaukee right now and you're like looking at the end of the road for Giannis, I can imagine the feeling you're going through, right? It would be kind of like, even though Jalen Brunson is not homegrown, but say if Jalen Brunson over the summer demanded a trade, like, hey man, I'm just tired of New York. The feeling we would have where the media is putting out, destinations for Jalen Brunson, right? And you're like, you'd have mixed feelings. Like, if you don't want to be here, then go. At the same time, you remember all the great things that Jalen Brunson has bought here. And I'm not saying JB will do that. I'm not saying that's even a scenario. But what I'm saying is from Milwaukee's perspective, that's how they feel. They have a bunch of mixed feelings. And with that said, to accompany that, if you're Milwaukee's front office, you may feel the same way. That means when the packages come in for Giannis, you're gonna want something that's gonna compensate for that emotional attachment to that young player that you drafted that was super raw, that became a top 25 player. You're gonna want to be compensated for that. And I don't know if any of the packages that are being bandied about are even close to what Milwaukee will want for compensation for Giannis.
It's a very good point. And you know what? I think for a while we've been kind of, I don't like to say we. I've heard a lot of disillusion that it's good, that because financially it works, that they'll just take Cat. They'll take Cat off our hands and they'll give us the top 25 of all time, because financially it works. And maybe some of those folks in Milwaukee be like, you know what, if you don't want to be here, then, bump him, let him bounce. And that works for that little pod. But then that doesn't work for anybody else except for us, right? Especially in Milwaukee, what I'm saying. So, I also found it very interesting, and you're right about that. Like, I remember, a layup away from winning that championship, and then we kept fighting back, and then finally Patrick gets a little bit old, and the team is not being very loyal to him, and
right.
The whole thing. I gut wrenching. And I went through it with if you're a fan of many different sports, you go through it with a lot of people. I lived with that certain teams. Like,
we went through it with the David Wright Mets. Remember the David Wright Mets? Where you're that close and you're just a couple of players away, and ownership doesn't have money to go get those players. Remember that? The Wilpons?
Yeah,
when you're a couple of players away. Like, I remember when they traded for K-Rod. Remember when they traded for K-Rod?
I do, of course.
They were like, if we trade for K-Rod, the Wilpons were like, we're broke. Now, listen, we're going to have to go from eating caviar to steak if we do this K-Rod deal. And they did the K-Rod deal, and they didn't add another, what's the name? Danny, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's up?
Danny Landis.
Salute. Wait a minute, Danny, are you Italian?
What's going on, brother?
What's up, bro?
Is Danny Italian?
Heck yeah.
I'm Italian, yeah. Italian.
It's Italian. It's Italy Day, baby. You know what it is?
Italy.
Mangia pasta azul. Come on, baby.
Somebody mama gonna have to make me some gravy. That's it. Somebody mama.
Every Sunday.
Right. Danny, it's good to see you, brother. How you been?
You too, Freezy. What's up, man? How you been? How's everything? How's the family?
Man, I ain't worth two dead flies smashed together. How's Lucas though?
He's great. He just turned 13 on Friday.
Happy birthday.
What?
Nice.
Yeah,
wow.
Are you serious?
Talking about going fast, right?
Wow, bro. Wow. 13?
Yep. Yes, sir.
He'll be going to high school next year?
He's in 7th grade now.
Oh, he's in 7th grade? Okay. Wow.
Man, why'd you have to talk about that Mets thing, man? I'm thinking about Andy Chavez's catch and all that stuff.
Not swinging at the plate. Yeah, that's what came up to my mind the moment he said that.
Oh, man.
That team, you talk about K-Rod, right? How about the team that did go out and get Beltran and Delgado and that's
Paul LaDuca. Remember Paul LaDuca?
It's so funny. So I'm talking to was I talking to you last night or was somebody else? Where I was like, yo, that team, because remember there was no DH still. in the National League, and that team, top to bottom, I call him back then he used to get in trouble for doing wild things out in Long Island, Long Beach, Long Island. Paul Duca, and that team, man, that was to me that was our closest hope. But the problem with that team, it is just like everything else the Bill Ponds did, was we had Glavin, Traxel, and that's it. And that's it.
Yeah.
Well, we had Pedro.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We had Pedro that year. I mean, I don't know about 06.
Yeah, 06. Pedro was there.
Okay. Yeah, Pedro. Yep.
Okay. Pedro and Glavin were the marquee. 1-2. But the rest of they lacked heavy in pitching.
Yeah, we were definitely top heavy.
Yeah, I think Pedro was hurt a little bit that year or something. He missed some time, I remember.
Reyes had like 77 stolen bases that year. Man, it was like nuts.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, no, you're right. And I'll never forget it, man. When I was at my sister's house, she lived in Jamaica, Queens at the time. And when Beltran didn't swing, man, we were jumping up and down. We were hyped because Andy brought it back in. We were doing everything under the sun, screaming up and down. All of a sudden, my sister slumped on the ground, crying like a baby, grown, crying like a baby. And I just looked at him.
That curveball was nasty, bro. He froze him.
Yeah, he froze.
He was known for curveballs, bro. His curveball was crazy.
Yep. I don't even want to say he also had a right in his name. But what?
Yeah. Adam Wainwright.
God.
Yeah. Y'all got any questions about where the Knicks are headed to? Like what this Emirates Cup might mean to New York? Like, does the Emirates Cup mean anything to y'all?
I mean, it's nice high leverage games. You have a little bit more to play for. But in the bigger scope of things, I would like it to be a good where we're at now moment. Especially if we play OKC in the finals of it. It would be a nice checkpoint of like grading where we're at right now and what we're gonna have to do moving forward to compete against that team, depending on the outcome. You know what I mean? I think that's where the biggest value is of this.
Right.
If anybody else wants to go before I just spoke.
I don't think I'm overly excited about the Emirates Cup. I just want to see the Knicks play basketball. Like, to me, it doesn't mean anything. I'm looking for the chip at the end of the season. Not nothing in the middle, but it does make them play a little harder.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I want to beat the brakes off Orlando every time. I mean, I want to beat every team every game.
I don't even want to play Orlando anymore. Thank you. They are dark clouds.
I mean, they could say the same for us this year because the first game, Paolo got hurt, and then this game, last one, Franz got hurt. But
yeah, that's true.
We lost two guys. I mean, Leon Rose and their GM probably should talk to each other. Hey, man, we both keep losing guys. Let's just wait till the playoffs to play again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I was hoping Miami. It's not because I was worried about Orlando, to play them. That's why I was hoping Miami would win because I'm like, we saw Orlando enough. I want to beat Miami's behind next.
Right. I have a different sense on it on the Emirates Cup. I'm not apathetic about the Emirates Cup, but I do feel like the Knicks owe us something, right? Like legit, the Knicks don't. And the Knicks generally they don't owe. And I'm speaking from a fan's perspective. This is not basketball analysis, right? This is from a fan's perspective. From a fan's perspective, I think the Knicks owe us something, right? We don't win the division. We don't win the conference. We don't get hotshot rookies. We don't get league MVPs, right? We're the organization that legitimately, when it comes to stuff, we don't generally acquire stuff, right? Like we don't have the best player in the league. We don't get the number one pick. You know what I'm saying? We don't win a division, at least a banner to hang. We don't win the conference. We rarely host the All-Star game. Like, legitimately, I think the Emirates Cup is something that the fan base needs as a validation that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And a
right.
reminder.
And I'm saying that from a fan's perspective. Of course, the championship is the ultimate goal. But in 2025, 2026, the championship has been the ultimate goal for 50 years.
Right.
The championship is the ultimate goal every year.
And we get everybody's best shot at our like our arena is everyone's favorite place to play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the Mecca. So that's why I feel it's amazing that our record is what it is at home, because we tend to get everyone's best shot. Like everyone's miraculously healed when they come to MSG, and we get everyone's like the bright lights game, you know.
On some random Tuesday in December,
this
man has 40. You're like, who is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy?
Like, who is this guy?
Who is Norm Powell?
Yeah.
Right. Or on Christmas, Schmeckaleckably take 40
It's like it's always like
basketball number. He had like a fullback number.
Right. He was 129. Who's that 129 getting 40 points? What the hell?
So and so's from the Bronx. He's playing at MSG. All his family's coming to the game. Yeah.
Right.
But,
man.
But that's why I think this opportunity for the Knicks, and like I said, it's just the title part of it isn't the lore of it. It's just it's just for the players going to Vegas, and it brings them back to that kind of that tourney, and you go away for a long weekend for the AAU tournament. You know, they get that vibe again.
Right.
I think the players enjoy it, that little getaway.
Right.
So, I'm hoping it brings out the best in our guys, man.
Yeah.
I think this year, I never paid attention to it, to be honest. I'm so focused at the end game that I think the floors are cool, and the whole, the NBA has done a lot of work to dress up the NBA, right? Talking about, going international, and now we have a big wealth of European players, and they've done a lot to dress up the NBA. Because like the All-Star game had gotten so for me buffoonish, like they brought in the skills game and the freshman and the sophomore. They keep trying to upgrade something, so then they bring this thing in, and I think up until this year, it really meant absolutely nothing to me. But this year, the way we're playing, period, just overall playing, and having an opportunity to go up against OKC one game, if they don't get taken out, judging on their 2K record, it looks like they'll probably be there. But if we beat them in that cup game, I will be happy about that. And I'll specifically about not just beating them, but beating them on the stage where, something mattered a little bit. Like I hear a lot that, people are happy for like the colics and they're going to get 50 grand. That's not my 50 grand. I don't really care what they get. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, that doesn't do anything for me. I'm happy for the next man. I'm not a hater. Good for them, definitely. But for me, it's about winning. And we've been doing a good job of doing that. So, another thing is too, we're gonna go. I really want to see what Mike Brown does with this game, because I think that will be a show of who he really trusts, how much time Mitch is going to play. You know what I mean? All these things are going to come to light because it's probably important to a lot of people's side due to a little bit of money, due to notoriety, due to the other things that really don't matter to me. So, I think that I'm with Tori on this one. Is like, to me, I want to win the championship, but it's a good test. Beat them one time, see what it's like, and I like it.
But Jay Charles, what if you don't do either? What if you don't win the Emirates Cup and you don't win the championship?
Then we're the Knicks. I mean, like,
right.
Blow it up.
I'm gonna sit here. I think that if you look around it's a great question. If you look around, you look at our entire squad, and you look around at the other squads that are good or in the levels of our squad. Well, we'd have to say right now, OKC, Detroit. You probably can't leave out Denver. Who else?
Houston.
Houston. In our
OG,
oh
bro.
man,
Nice picture.
We got some characters on this team, bro.
Yo, look at Kev. Kev McCullough looks like a defensive end, bro.
Dang, bro. Yeah.
yeah.
Y'all see Kev McCullough next to Tosan?
Yeah.
Bro, Kev McCullough looks like he's bigger than OG.
Did you see when they were interviewing Brunson and Josh Hart was off to the side?
Yeah, I saw it.
And they made that comment about him shooting or whatever. And I guess Josh Hart was drawn at the other coach when he made a shot or two.
Right.
Yeah. And then Brunson was like, well, if he would just shut up and not talk to the other coach on the other team, they'll keep leaving him open.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
He said that, but he said it as in jest,
Right. Bro.
I feel like you need to have the YMCA song on behind this, man. I don't know why. It's just like
Yeah.
That's funny, man. Who was that, Bridget?
Where? No, that's OG.
No, OG's sitting, and then
Bridges is off to his right.
OG got some. I mean, Not trying to stare at other dudes' thighs, but he's got some thick legs, bro.
Yeah, OG is
Coach, bro,
We're
what
gonna
are you
leave that to
doing,
me,
man?
coach. We're gonna leave that
Hey,
to me. That's gonna be me, not you. I don't want to
but
hear
hey,
about a man
as
Let's
a,
thighs
not
on
do that, Coach. Come
on these
on,
no
man.
more.
hey, I'm a coach, bro. Hey,
I don't care what
I'm
you
always
are. You're a
eyeing up
grown man
bodies,
talking about
bro.
another grown man thighs. Don't do it.
I'm very secure.
You can
I
be
mean,
secure. Leave the
No,
thigh
no,
talking to
no.
me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't explain what his thighs are capable of.
I ain't say it don't matter. Leave the thigh talking to me.
right.
Oh
You got
God.
Roger that. I don't even need any other command after that.
Right.
You
Leave
got
it.
it. You
Leave it to
boss.
me.
You got it. You got it.
Oh, we didn't say nothing about Freezy eyeing up McCullers' pecs or nothing. We just, you call me.
man.
Nah.
Yo.
He said he looked like a fullback, though. He didn't say,
Yeah, I got you.
check
Yeah.
out those legs.
All right, just he's got good, he's
We're
strong.
The reason why I brought up Kev McCullough is because he didn't look like that at Kansas, bro. He did not look like that at Kansas. He looked like he was Josh Hart size at Kansas.
Right.
And so this year and a half or whatever it is with the Knicks, bro, this dude is looking jacked, bro.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I don't know what it is with his like what the Knicks are doing with the young guys, but you could man, have y'all seen Tyler Kolek compared to his rookie year?
Yeah, it's funny you said that. The other day when he was playing, I was like, this kid.
Yeah, he seems stronger for sure.
He ate 3 whole loaves of bread like the day before the game. Like that, he's like,
like last year he was getting kind of pushed off the mark more. Like when he was now he seems more like stout, like keeping his dribble.
He's got a very confident strut. You notice that?
Right.
Well, he'll make a nice pass and he walk off. But yeah, I say this all the time as a white dude, with the duck lip, the dancing duck lips, you know what I'm saying? Where he just walk off and he's like, that's how he walk off. He'll throw it, but he throws passes that, it's just crazy.
Well, he definitely has that point guard, the point guard vibe, the traditional point guard vibe, where he's not afraid to tell guys, "Hey, go that way,
go that way, do this, do that,
go across."
Right.
I remember when he got in Huck Pody's behind on that one play when he was like, "You gotta dunk that." Remember on that one pass he didn't.
Right, and it's what he was supposed to do. That's what
the real point guard does. Leads the team.
Right. Quarterback.
He's got that in him, which I like.
Right. No doubt. I don't know if I have another thing to talk about. I was going to grab a couple of things out of the chat. Y'all mind if y'all got a few minutes where I just get some stuff out of the chat?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brother.
It is.
So chat. This is what I want y'all to do. So chat, I want you to put your best topic in the chat. Right? Chat, put your best topic in the chat. We're only going to grab the real dope topic, put it on the screen, and then we'll talk about it for a little bit. But put your A game. Your A game. No, we don't want to put I love Brunson. We're not reading that. Right. We're not gonna read the Mitch need to hit his free throws. Right. Put your best comments in the chat. Right. And then we'll read a couple of those before we wrap up and get out of here. I know there are some. I know Kerry Cox has something, and I know East Blue Drew probably has something here. Also, y'all put your best comments in the chat, and then we'll chop it up for.
While you're waiting for that, could I ask your opinion on the cup? What it means?
It means everything to me.
Yeah,
it means everything to me in the sense that your route to the championship has to start with mile markers. Like you have to build your way up to being a champion. Like for some teams, they have to win their division, right? For some teams, they have to groom an MVP, right? Like Milwaukee. Milwaukee still wouldn't have been anything if Giannis wasn't an MVP caliber player,
Yep,
right?
that's right.
And so for me, I think it's the baby step towards the end goal. And I think without those baby steps, we don't get there. In my belief, I think the flaw with the Knicks and the fan base is that we traditionally want to skip steps. And this is just my belief. So if you believe on the other side, I'm not trying to offend you on that. This is just what I believe. I believe that the Knicks fans and fan base look to skip steps because of manifest destiny, right? They believe just because it's New York, the Knicks deserve a championship. And I don't believe that's the case. I think championships are hard to win, and you have to do it the right way. Every time you skip a step, you skip one step, but in theory, you're pushing yourself 2 steps back, right? Because you skip a step. It's not the natural order of things. You have to go out, you have to grind, find talent, develop talent, respect people, right? Have a great business operation, have an owner that's invested in winning, right? Like having an owner that's invested in winning is super important, because when you have an owner that's there for the cash, they're going to be more worried about the cash, because their championship is what the bottom line looks like. The fans' championship is holding up that trophy at the end of the season. And so in my mind, as long as take things step by step, like this year, one of the things that we don't talk about is the Knicks can probably win the Atlantic Division. One of the things that we don't talk about as a fan base. Legitimately, the Knicks winning the Atlantic Division, right? Yep. Can we win the Emirates Cup, win the Atlantic Division, win the Eastern Conference Finals, and then get to the finals and let the chips fall where they may? So when we get to the NBA Finals, whether we win or lose, guess what we did along the way? We hit mile markers. We won the Emirates Cup. We won the Atlantic Division. We won the Eastern Conference, right? Those are things that we can put up in the garden that'll remind us every day that we are good enough. Right now, when you look up in the ceiling, you don't have reminders that remind you that currently you are good enough. You don't have those things as a daily reminder.
Those banners got hella dust on them.
Yeah. So if we do, yeah, that's why it means something to me. I think we should and again, so chat, again, this is not me telling you what to do. This is me me expressing my fandom, right? My fandom is this. Hey man, win these mile markers, hit these mile markers on the way. That way, if you fail and you look back, you can still see where your successes were. Right? It's not just, hey man, right? Can you hear me?
The dog, all I can see is the dog right now.
He's like making an appearance.
Spike.
He looked like a Spike.
Spike. I know you hear me, Spike, because every time I say Spike, I can hear his Spike. You see that?
Relax, boy.
That made my day right there. I ain't got nothing else to talk about. I done seen Spike, y'all. I ain't got nothing else.
That's the new Lawrence Tears mascot.
The mascot.
Right.
Spike is in the building.
Man, dogs are the best, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So coach, that's where I am with it, man. I think the road to success has mile markers on it. That way, when you fail for the moment, when you look back, you can see the successes that you had. And that drives you and keeps you motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, if we win the Atlantic Division this year and we don't win the conference, we can still look back and say, hey man, you know what? It was still a successful year because we won the Atlantic Division. We didn't go as far as we thought we would go, but at least it's not a random non-important season. Like when you look back on last year felt like a success for us, right? But we don't have anything for last season, right? Like we legit lost it in the Eastern Conference Finals, but what do you get for that?
It still hurt.
Get to go home, have a lot of pain,
It hurt.
Yeah,
It hurt worse or just as bad as them second round exits.
yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, and I do understand that for a lot of us, the ultimate goal is winning the championship. That's the goal every year,
Yeah.
right? In my mind, like it's win or bust every year for me, right? But occasionally, like you want to, it's like to me, it's like at your desk at work. You know what I'm saying? When you sit down, it's a random work day or whatever, and you look back at the one thing, like maybe you were employee of the year one year. Man, I was employee of the year in 2021. It don't really mean anything, but it's like the reminder that I can do this.
Yeah.
You know
Like
what I'm saying?
if you
That's
down on your
basically
job
what
a
I'm getting at.
little, you look at it, you're like, oh, I remember that now.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So yeah.
No,
So I'm looking in the chat, man. I don't know. Kerry Cox asks, "Does Josh Hart make Bridges expendable?" What do y'all think?
I
Josh
don't think
Hart
so.
make him expendable?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Not at all. Because he's a better McCall is a better defender. McCall's a better ball handler. McCall's a better scorer.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I don't. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. It's like Jenga. You keep tinkering, it's gonna fall. I feel like they put this team together where one player is making up for the other player's deficiency. So
Right.
you start pulling away at these guys, then you're gonna expose the guys that are still there.
Right.
Keep tinkering, it's gonna all fall apart.
Yeah.
I don't really feel the need to go out there and make moves. I just don't. I just
Yeah.
don't.
Right. Right.
I don't
Right.
feel a need to do it.
Right.
I think
I
Mikal
could be
Bridges.
100,000% wrong. Like I could be more fan than more Nick fan than making smart basketball decisions, but I just don't see the need to pull these guys apart. I
Right.
don't feel like it works with other people.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like the
think.
dynamic of this team is that it's this team, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
just,
Yeah, because
and
I
yanking
think.
at it and pulling at it and tugging at, let's move this guy for that guy and this guy for that. No, you're gonna mess up the chemistry. You're gonna mess up what they built. And they built this team. They put this team together to win, and we're not even giving it a chance to win before we start tugging at it and want to dump it in the garbage and start over. It's silly.
Yeah,
Right.
and to help double down on that, your point, I think it's because Mikal Bridges and the things he does helps make Josh better.
Right.
That's why Josh is better because they both have certain defined like Josh doesn't have to defend the guys he used to have to defend because Mikal Bridges is there now.
Okay.
If
He's
y'all
not.
think about it, right? I'm sorry, coach. I thought you was finished.
No, you go ahead.
If you think about it, right, last season, especially in the playoffs, the worst thing you saw the entire playoffs was Josh Hart's man slacking off of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now he can double. If Josh keeps playing like Josh is playing right now, the league is in trouble. Because
Right.
you
Yeah.
can't let him sit around out there on the perimeter. You can't leave your man. And if you can't leave your man and we're playing one-on-one coverage with every team, we're not losing.
I
Right.
also
We're
think
not
they're
losing.
two different players. They're
Now, I
two
mean, oh yeah,
completely
absolutely.
different players.
I'm just in
Yeah.
a vacuum right now. Now I'm way off topic. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about the team in its current state. I'm just
Yeah, no,
that
I hear
just
you on that.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like to answer the question at home, like Josh Hart really isn't the person that would make Bridges expandable, right? It would be either Bridges himself if he wasn't playing the way he was playing, or if we had like if somehow we had picked up a Herb Jones or somebody that did something identical to him, almost
Mhm.
identical to him.
Yeah.
That type of stuff moves the needle. Not these two players are to me very different players.
Right.
So
Right.
that's not to me that is not what makes him expendable.
Yeah. Or if all of a sudden someone like Diawara or Dottier starts doing everything Mikal Bridges does, like at his level by some miracle in a year or two or whenever it happens, then he becomes kind of expendable because you have guys that are doing what he does at a cheaper rate, taller, but we don't have that luxury yet. So
yeah, I mean, then you look around different sports too, like you look around different players, even here, like right now we are grooving. I'm gonna do a Clyde. We're moving and grooving, and you know what? Like I think that we all see maybe one or two things that we would like our team to improve in or work on or whatever it might be. I got a couple of questions for the team, but I do also respect the Jenga outlook.
Yeah.
Because once you start, you take out one person, eventually you're gonna have to take out another person because you're gonna need to start. It's like a trickle down effect. You're gonna need to start filling these holes where they're gonna be. Like all these things are gonna start to move around. So that particular one is a no for me.
yeah, and especially those two guys. Besides their actual play, the relationship they have with Brunson, it's bigger than basketball. That these are two men that Jalen Brunson, like their family, and there's something to that. That's what helps this team's chemistry look like the way it is right now, because those three guys have that special relationship, and they've been through dogfights and championships in college and grinded together.
Okay.
So they know what it takes, And I know a college championship's not the same as the NBA, I get all that. But there's something to that. That college championship grind is not an easy one.
No.
And that
is not easy. I'm gonna tell you that right
and
now.
there were some juggernaut team like Villanova is a solid program, but it ain't Kentucky and Duke, and they found a way to beat them teams. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I would say that the college championship is more difficult.
I agree with you. I was just
because you want it done. There's no playoffs.
Right. You get one shot. You have one off night.
You got one shot against the team. It's over.
Yeah.
Like that UNLV team didn't win. Like there's years the best team don't win. It's crazy.
Many times. Many years. Many years. I got disdain for many. It feel bad because a lot of them, they're kids, right? But I got disdain for so many colleges. I root for who I root for, and now I'll tell you who it is. I root for Michigan because I grew up in the era of the Fab Five and and a little prior to that, and also their football program was good with Desmond Howard and all that stuff. And then I'm also
Tom Brady, Drew Hansen,
all that.
Mike Hart.
Come on, don't you get? Look, I got goosebumps on the goosebumps, brother.
Yeah, man. I have too much useless knowledge up here, bro.
Me too. I feel like why can't I be stopped for one of
Quick
those
question:
games
how
where they
many
offer
light
you.
bulbs are there
you-
in Disney World?
you-
Quick
right.
question.
You know what?
Quick question.
I
My
know,
kid,
I
my
know
kid,
a
he afraid to be
Disney
walking down
exec.
the
Let me
block and they
Yep.
stop us for
See?
like $1,000 to answer each question right. Can you get them in 10 seconds? Yes, name them, throw them out there.
right.
I'm with that, and I'm also a huge St. John's fan. You know, big time.
Yeah, man.
Met Luke Conaseca. You know, constantly over there. Both my sisters graduated from there. Had a girlfriend over there. I stayed inside the campus, like I went there, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But you know, so those are my basketball teams.
Yeah.
Man.
I
You
mean,
know, it's
hell,
tough. It's tough. College is tough. You don't know, and the way they root for them, it's just different. It's just different.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, back then it was hell just to get out of the Big East
Right.
first. You know, just getting out of that tournament was hard enough.
Right.
Think about this. How did I feel the night we drafted Pat Ewing? Believe it or not, I'm a kid going, oh man. Knowing that he is the best possible choice. But still, I was like, my heart was a little hurt. Like I was like,
Right.
oh man. Like, and then it took like 3 games for that to go away. But you know, I'm just saying. You want to get to this one?
Yeah. So Knicks Nation says, do you think Mike Brown's plan is a winning plan that will get us a chip, meaning his offensive game plan, defensive philosophy, rotations, growth in young players, his command of the team? Yes. What we learned from Mike Brown in these 24, 25 games, or 30 something games in total, if you count the preseason, right, is Mike Brown is not averse to making adjustments. He's not averse to taking advice from players, coaches, staff, whoever. Right. If it works, he'll stick with it, and if it doesn't work, he'll go away from it. Right. That's one of the things in a 100 game or so marathon that we expect to be on. You have to be able to make adjustments and listen to others. It's if you're successful, like no one person has all the answers. Period. Or you have to be able to listen. Surround yourself with smart people, empower them to give you feedback, and then listen to them.
That's right.
Right. Support smart people and give them the opportunity to contribute to the main goal. That's what successful organizations do. Right. And Mike Brown, we had to give Coach some coffee.
My bad, man.
No, brother, no. Yo, Coach
them
needs
overnights are killers, man. I get it. I know.
Yo, Coach,
I keep every time you do it too, Coach. I do it. I put my head down. I go like this. I start yawning.
I'm just scratching my nose.
Holding it in.
Well, he don't know I'm fighting for my life over because I stayed up all night, right, working on some insurance stuff. So it's like,
I ain't been to bed.
That's why
yet.
we didn't do the show at 8, man. I was like, yo, I gotta take a nap, bro. Like legit. Yeah, I need a coffee with a shot of espresso and a teardropper full of Red Bull right now, just to kind of
right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like
steroids.
Yeah, it's some juice. But to just to keep it a stack though about Mike Brown, I think Mike Brown, we don't have to, but it would be reasonable to give Mike Brown 50 or 60 games to understand the heartbeat of the team. Because right now, I still think both sides are trying to figure each other out. Right. And so give him 50 or 60 games, and then you'll see the structure or framework in what he believes a championship team a championship team can do. Because the thing is, a championship blueprint is not one size fits all. You have to understand who you are as an organization in order to know, in order to put forth the framework for a winner, right? Like, we can't use the Golden State framework because we don't have a Steph Curry, right? We can't use the Oklahoma City framework because they're a small market team and they have to build a championship contender like a small market team, right? The Knicks are the biggest of all markets, and so we're a big market team, and we have to figure out how to build a contender, a steady championship winner, using the assets that we have. Because when you're a big market team, as many assets as you have, you probably have equal or more detractors. One of the things that y'all mentioned, Coach, is one of the things that y'all mentioned, and I don't know if people know how serious this is or not, but every night somebody's coming to the Garden to have their career night. People don't get up for Oklahoma City. Like Oklahoma City is that stop on the way to Dallas for some people, right? But for
even
the Knicks,
when we were trash.
Right. But for the Knicks, if you're playing the Knicks on ESPN on a Tuesday night and Mike Breen is there, you want Mike Breen to say bang when you knock down 2 or 3 threes. Right? Like you want that. So you're gonna get other teams' best shot every night. The Knicks, with that said, is always going to be viewed as a uncrowned Goliath. Right? Remember, Goliath is the guy that wanted to take over. David was the king, right? So when you look at Goliath, you know, everybody wants to knock off the Goliath, and we're not even Goliath, but we are pointed to as that, right? Jalen Brunson isn't a Goliath type figure. Cat isn't a Goliath type figure. The Knicks, though, historically are that, and so teams are going to give us their best shot every night. And so that's one of the things that we have to deal with when building a championship contender, in my opinion.
You know, also listen, I read a book. I read a lot of book on like growth of business and all that stuff. There's a book that I read that was called "Follow First, Lead Second."
Right.
And something that I had to do in my life because I felt like I knew the answer, or I knew, you know, whatever it might be. And I think that maybe Tibbs had a little bit of that. And I hate bashing people because he really brought us up. He leveled us up. Right. And but I'm not quite sure he did that. And then when he did it, another thing that we got to give Mike Brown props to is how he handles the New York media. Not an easy deal. So he's doing all this stuff with our team while also doing things, you know, back to the parent role, right? Can you be your kid's friend and their parent? Yes. Right. The answer is yes. You can if it's done correctly. Right. It's called respect. And like again, you had mentioned that earlier about having the respect with people when you were talking about talking to. Right. So, you know, in order to be a good leader, you got to follow leaders. And think about the places that Mike Brown has been. Think about the places, the backup coaching he's done for who he's done it for, and the players he has coached prior.
Right.
I told you going into this year, my biggest thing was what can Brown do for us.
Right.
Because we know what our core four do, right? We know what Clarkson brings to the table, and I think he's just getting started. You know, rein him in, get him right, whatever. You know, but you know, we're moving. You know, we're moving forward, and you know, I think that has a lot to do with what he's doing. And it also, on the same note, some of it has a lot to do with the fact that we have a Brunson and we have Cat, and we have Mikhail, and we have an OG, and we have a team, and but you still have to be managed correctly in order to do that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Hey, so hey y'all, wrap right here. I got some stuff going on here in a few minutes. GI, what's good, man? We'll wrap right here, man. Hey, everybody, keep an eye out for the Knicks at Night podcast tonight at 11. So we'll go over some of the same things, but I put together like this list in a kite that I sent to the family, like about 7 to 8 topics that I feel like we need to do a deep dive into before the Emirates Cup semifinal game against the Orlando Magic Saturday at 5. Right. So there are a lot of things. So this is like our mini all-star break, kinda, because the Knicks are off for like 3 or 4 days. And so there are a lot of things for us to discuss and talk about. So I'm gonna say thank you to everyone for joining. Salute to my guy John Macri for coming through and hanging out with us. Thank you to the Italian contingent that showed up and took over.
That's how we do, that's how we take over, bro.
Forget about it. How you doing?
Right. And thank you to Tori B and Spike for coming through. Thank you to the chat for coming through and hanging out with us, providing dope content in the chat, man. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. Of course, y'all know we're gonna keep trying to grow this thing and try to get to the place where we are a major player. And subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, spread the word. On that note, we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Peace, everybody.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes?
Hey.